Well, police brutality and human rights violation in Nigeria is our main focus this morning, with cases of extrajudicial killings, torture, extortion, and of course arbitrary arrest that we've seen time in, time out right here in Nigeria. Now, the Nigeria Police Force has been accused of using excessive force. And the hashtag #EndSARS movement in 2020 brought attention to a lot of these abuses. But despite promises of reform, little has changed, and impunity remains a major issue right here in Nigeria. Well, joining me this morning, I have my guest joining virtually, activist Calvin Ejemodo. He is the SSA to the Delta State Governor on Human Rights. He joins live from Delta State this morning. Good morning and good to see you.
Good morning, Anu. Thanks for having me. Good morning, esteemed viewers.
Absolutely. And of course, during the course of the show, we'll also have Mr. Jollof, Senior Special Assistant to the Delta State Governor on the new media. But let's quickly kickstart with you, activist Kelvin. Now, I would love you to react to the recent situation that actually happened right there in Oyo State, Ibadan precisely, where we saw a bit of drama. And actually, at the end of the day, the little child got killed. What was your first reaction when you heard the news?
Yes, thank you very much. First, I would like to extend my deepest condolences to the family of the young boy who was killed by the stray bullet from a trigger-happy police officer right there in Oyo State. My condolences to the family. Such a young, promising champ going to write his wax exam. I never knew that that would be the last day you have a breath. Not because he was ill, not because he was involved in an accident, just because there was a trigger happy police officer who did not know when to use the firearm. At the end of the day, the life of the young boy was cut. My condolences to the family. First, the news came to me as a shock because it is it is a sad occurrence to lose a child. As a parent, I know how it feels when one loses a child. Talk of a child going to write his wax exam and he was strategically killed by a police officer. And the worst part is the police giving a report that because the father of the child was driving behind traffic, he was driving on the wrong lane, hence the bullet. What, why, where's our humanity? Where's our conscience? Where's our love for people? It came to me as a huge shock because the Commissioner of Police of your state, CP Johnson Adenola, he is a very disciplined police officer. He was the PSO one to the IT of police, and he has worked in Delta State Police Command before as the DC operation. He's a very disciplined officer, and I know such issues will not be thrown under the carpet. The officer involved in this act must be made to pay the full weight of the law. That's my submission for that.
Absolutely. And already the Oyo State government came out just yesterday to say that investigations are ongoing regarding the police officer involved. But who really should take the blame? Because we've seen reactions and counter reactions. Some persons have been saying that the father of the child is the one, or the father of the deceased is the one who should take the major blame, or is it the police officer in this case? And what should be done to ensure that similar situation doesn't happen? What do you think should be the consequences of the action for that particular police officer?
The police should take the entire blame because in the police code we have what we call force order 237. It tells when the police officer to use his firearm. That you carry the firearm as a police officer. There's an order that guides the conduct of a police officer when to use his firearm. Hence, we have force order 237 that the police can only use the firearm when his personal life is at risk or when someone tries to disarm him and collect his firearm from him. Then the police officer can invoke force order 237 and use the firearm to shoot. Not not when you are pursuing an unarmed civilian, allegedly, that said that you were chasing after alleged internet fraudster. And in such disarray, you're using your firearm. On what basis? The police officer should be held accountable and not the father of the boy. Yes, we can give the father of the boy a traffic blame because he was driving up traffic. But is that enough reason for his son to be killed by a stray bullet from a police officer? The answer is no. It was driving that we have police officers, we have them, you hold the man while he drives up traffic, take the vehicle to the station, impound the vehicle, give you a traffic offense. Best offender, second offender, or whatever the case may be, let him face his own. But it does not justify when life will slip out from a young, promising young Nigerian. We must not mix emotions with issues of concern. Where is our empathy? It is the duty of the government to protect life and property of our citizens. Then the police is in charge of internal security. Counsel upon them to protect life and property within the state of Oyo State. And because we gave a chase of an alleged internet fraudster, you have sniffed life out of a young, promising boy that's going to write it down. What happens to the mother? What happens to the father? What happens to the sibling? What happens to his future? First, the police officer should make the face an ordinary trial. After the ordinary trial, to face the weight of the law going forward. When we don't hold people accountable for their actions, they will be continued to harbor impunity.
Right.
I said it in retrospect after the NSAS protest. The president at that time called that there should be a judicial part of the inquiry set across the state and the FCT. That all reports were submitted to the vice president at that time, President Osibanjo, and the vice president Chesasi Osibanjo. Reports were submitted to them. No police officer was made to face the weight of the law till date. And that has brought them back again to this brutality and extortion and intimidation in our road.
Oh. Bro,
If they were made to face the penalty for their actions,
right,
or essentially some Nigerians at some point, then today would have had a more sane and a more reformed police organization in our country.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing conversation, and we'll definitely, keep you watching up to speed with the latest of developments. But I feel it's a beautiful template to move over to in our conversation this morning regarding police brutality. What is police brutality in a layman term? I mean, one of the description of the Nigerian police is to protect lives and property right here in Nigeria, but we seem to be seeing a different turnout every single time happening in different parts of the country. What do you say?
Police brutality is the act of using cruel force on an unarmed person, trying to intimidate, oppress, and ridicule the human person by the use of coercion, by the threat of arms, by using your uniform to intimidate an unarmed person to say, if you don't open your phone for me, I'll shoot you. If you don't tell me this, forcing people to give a statement. The new NJC law said for you to get a statement from anybody, either his lawyer or member of his family or anyone he chooses must be there. And it must videotape his statement to ensure that this statement is taken under free will, that the suspect is not being coerced, is not being intimidated to give a statement in any matter. But to date, the police force did not follow this same administration of criminal justice law. They rather do it, they rather lock you in a confinement, threaten you with torture, and then people give statements that that it's not even true or out of duress. So police brutality has to do with when people have been beaten up, have been threatened, have been tamed to fall in allegiance with the dictate of what the officers want from them, at the end of the day to extort them from monies. That's what the brutality is. And it's saddled upon the police to protect life and property in the country. They are in charge of internal security, not the military, not the Air Force, not the Navy, not the Army. The police is in charge of that security. And it will amaze you to know that for you to join the Nigerian army, a police officer must sign your form before you be inducted into the Nigerian army. It takes.
Okay.
If you get an army form to join the Nigerian army, it takes a police officer within your area of duty.
So I know activist Kelvin Ejemudo is one of those, a more important person who tend to take a lot of actions into the issue of human rights violation and all of that across the country. And now one will begin to wonder, Mr. Jalef, thank you so much for joining. If you can hear me, good morning. Thank you for being a part of the show today. So, you're one of those persons who actually tend to use the new media to air grievances and your voices regarding a couple of things in the country. And just recently, you had your own similar fair share of police brutality, right here in the country. Can you take us through that? What actually happened, and how were you able to scale through it?
Story of what happened to me about a week or two ago. I've had series of police intimidation and all of that, but the very one happened in Abuja 2 weeks ago. The police packed us and he said, "Search yourself." The moment he said, "Search yourself," I did search myself, and I was telling him that I'm rushing to the airport, and he didn't want to listen. The next thing, he was just searching, turned the vehicle upside down. The next thing he said out from the state CID, "You are going to our station." And I said, "Oga, I beg, I dey go walk the way you walk your walk. Allow me go." What I'm telling you, we spent over 30 minutes. I almost missed my flight because of that incident. It went as far as for him to have clear satisfaction, he had to defy me. Defy me in the sense that he had to put his hand on my private parts. I don't know what he was looking for, but that was what a police officer did in this country. Now, when he knew that I knew my rights, I told him peacefully, because I didn't want to have any argument and all of that with the police officer. No. I just told him that I'm begging you right now, allow me go. So maybe I didn't think that this man is begging me to problem in different front, and I had to leave. I almost missed that flight in less than 5 minutes, but I made that flight. And when I was talking with the driver said that in that particular checkpoint, there was a time he carried a customer, and the customer had tattoo on his body and dreadlocks. Do you know that the police officer, they took that boy, he missed his flight, they took him to their station, and at the end of the day, they couldn't find anything against him. They still extort a sum of 100,000 from that young man. This happened on different locations. There was a time I was going to Asaba. A police officer actually slapped me. So now, if tomorrow I start using police officer to guide myself because of police officer, I'm not guiding myself because of criminal. The populace will say, he just joined small government position, now they carry him put the waka. The reason why some people are using police officer and security is not because of armed robbery, it's because of police. So they are using police officer to checkmate police officer, which is not supposed to be so. Look at the nightlife in Delta State today. I made a publication that why is nightlife not as it used to be in Warri? Why is nightlife not like Lagos or Abuja? The comment section, you will see that it's a case of security agency oppressing people at night. Especially people that are helpless. The people that come out regularly at night are young kids. When I mean young kids, I'm not saying that they are children, but these are people of like 20 years, 21, 22, 23 to like 25. Those people do not have somebody they can call to rescue them. Whatever allegation that they put on their head, the police might even say that, why are they wandering? They've arrested so many people for wandering. People that are going to maybe nightclub or a lounge to have fun, you arrested them because of wandering. But we should not discredit the police at the same time. Most of these stop and search you see today, They've been able to recover vehicles. They've been able to recover people that have been kidnapped,
Right.
meaning that they are doing their job. But some police officers are overzealous. That overzealousness tend to tarnish the image and the effort of the Nigerian police force.
Okay. Now, there's actually a lot of things to talk about regarding this, situation, police brutality in Nigeria. We'll quickly take a short break, and when we return, we'll move over to find out what are some of the causes and why are we still here at this point in Nigeria. Well, it's good to know that you're still there with us. We're talking police brutality and human rights violation right here in Nigeria. Interestingly, this is not the first time we are seeing what actually occurred at Ibadan, Oyo State capital, during the course of this week. Just this week, also in Lagos State, Nigeria, there's a situation where a particular security agent was manhandling an Uber driver, and that's got a lot of reactions. And why do we keep having such occurrence happen over and over and over again? Let me quickly move over to activist Kelvin Jemudo. What is the root cause of all of this? I know you handle a lot of cases every single time. What have you discovered as the major cause of this? Activist Kelvin, please go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
One of the major causes of this their misbehavior on our roads is the unprofessional conduct. When people are not held liable for their action, when there is no justice, equity, and fairness, then such things will continue to prevail. One of the major causes is our police officers they are underpaid. Most of them are given a target to meet out with by their superiors. So when they come to the road, they do all manner of things to make sure they extract money from lawful citizens. Imagine a sergeant, for example, he buys his own uniform, he buys his own boots that he wears to work, he fuels his own patrol van. If there's a breakdown on the patrol van, the team, if there's a team of 8 persons, 8 officers, they share the money within themselves to fix the patrol van. So they are being overstretched. How do you tell a man to do repair, wear and tear of his vehicle? And his salary, for example, is just 7,000 naira. That's what they pay a sergeant in Nigerian police. For an inspector that you pay 97,000 naira in circumstance. And he has a family. And the DPO tells you, as you are going out for patrol, make sure you come back with 200,000 naira for settlement. And the man goes out. He's looking at time 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. He's closing by 6. He has not made even 1,000 naira on the road. So what do? Sometimes they start hiding even in their in people's cars. They start maiming people in order for them to extract money from people. I've seen a case where a policeman hid a drug in this part of his hand. While he was searching the vehicle, he threw it under the chair. One of the officers that came and said, I saw a drug here. And the boy doesn't take drug. In Fupre, Federal University of Federal Justice here in Delta State. I took up the case. I called the NDLA to bring one of their expert doctors. They sampled the boy's blood. The boy has never taken drugs in his life. I told the officer, I said, bring your own self for let's sample your blood and see if you are the one, if you are not taking drugs. And that's how they released the boy and allowed him to go. What if that boy never knew anybody like me that I could intervene for him? He would have paid a huge money for saying they found drug in his vehicle. All of this is because they want to meet up the targets that they've been given by their DPOs, by some commissioner of police, by some AIGs, by some DIGs. Because I've been close to the rank and files and also the higher mighty in the police. Where do you call commissioner of police and some of them tell you that I don't give them back all that. I don't tell them to go and bring money for me. But these people, they tell you that they are being asked daily to fuel their patrol van. How do you want a police officer to fuel his own van that is using to work? So somebody somewhere is eating the money coming from the government to run the division monthly. You give a DPO 100,000 naira to run the division a month. How much is a liter of fuel? How much is brake pad for their patrol van? Some of their patrol van cannot even chase a criminal that is using even a tricycle because they don't have fuel. They can't run a long chase. That's why we appreciate our government of that state who brought out 31 brand new Hiluxes and supported it to security agencies. Because it has made security paramount in the state. So when we invest, government to invest heavily in security. Right. Local government, state government, federal government, they must invest in it because the police officers they're being overstretched. They are giving targets to meet up. Just like you a marketer in the bank, and say go and bring 5 customers. How you get them? The bank don't know whether they sleep with you to come and open an account. The bank don't know. The bank want what they want result. Same way they are pushing these same low rank officers go to the road, make money. So when they bring someone to the DPO and say, DPO, we saw this man on the road. He look like a fraudster. You've not investigated. You are just alleging someone to be a fraudster.
Well,
and all of these literature has brought us to the point whereby you see, even when the IG give an order, the ones in the road they do otherwise.
Well, speaking about fraudsters. Yeah, speaking about process, but just before we go there, we actually saw the 2025 budget presentation. During the presentation, the breakdown of it, security actually took a large chunk, but it's sad to see where we are today regarding all of that. Now, moving over to you, Mr. Jollof. There are those who actually would say that the security agency in the country, the police, the EFCC, and the likes, they are doing the right thing, perhaps to the wrong people, according to them, especially the so-called fraudsters who feel that, how about you go meet these political bigwigs, those who have stolen chunks of money from the country and deal with them rather than us who are just trying to survive the best way that we can. Now, do you think that is actually good to an extent? How would you react to it?
I believe what is good and what is bad is bad. If you are a fraudster, you are doing what is wrong. The police, in particular, I believe most personnel, they forgot their primary objective. The primary objective of a police officer is to protect the lives and property of a citizen. A lot of them don't even know how to talk. A lot of them, the moment they just see you on the road, you are properly dressed. Some of them, they are angry. A police officer, he told my friend that una dey inside motor wey see the cold una, we dey sun, we say we go dey happy with una. That was what a police officer said. Putting your frustration on people that have planned their lives. Now, we have so many young, established people in this country. You see a 30 years old guy or a lady, he's doing well. He's not into fraud. If she's a lady, she's not into prostitution. They are doing their business diligently and they are making a lot of money. There are a lot of business opportunities in this country. But a lot of them, because they cannot utilize their brain and they decided that, okay, let's just join the Nigerian police force, they believe that everybody cannot use their brain. A lot of persons are into tech. When they hear tech, they just say, "Now Yahoo boy." There are so many applications that add value to the society today. There is somebody from boat when he knows, say, the transportation system, some people need it at their comfort zone. They don't want to stand on the road to go and look for taxi and all of that. Somebody invented that. There are so many, there is one in Asaba, one time shop. He's a young man, he's not even up to 35 or 36 years. What is his job? He has riders that deliver food for people, and he's making it. He have another side also called Ito family, fish family. He's making it there. But you see, most of all these Nigerian police officers, they don't believe that people can actually do 2, 3 jobs in this country. The moment they just see that this young man, he has planned his life or her life, they just run after them. And those are not your targets. Some of them say politicians are their target. Police job is not to go after politicians. It is the job of the Economic Financial Crime Commission to assess you if you've committed any crime. It's not the job of the Nigerian police to go and follow politicians or follow your own boy and all of that. Some of them will go as far as forgetting armed robbery and chase those that are holding in their hand, because that is the new way to cash out. The moment they see you with rolling paper is not even a contraband item in this country. They sell it in what's it called, supermarket, on the road and everything. They don't go after the people selling it to. If they just see a young man holding a rolling paper that he used in smoking his tobacco or whatever, they'll say, you don't want to go. We are going to the station. Right before you see, they don't harass you, they don't beat you. Sometimes they will take your phone, log into your bank account, see your balance, and the moment they just transfer money to their account.
Now, Mr. Joseph, okay, now judging from everything you've said, is it a case of disorientation or lack of training from our security officials in the country?
I believe the police always give different training with their personnel. I just believe a lot of them are not contented with their pay. And if you are not okay with your pay, you resign and go and look for another job. You don't put your frustration on people. A lot of them, they've gone different training. As you see those police, so they don't go different training. The country, they spend so much money on training. But still, a lot of them, they are not, let me just say, they are not even repentant of their attitude. They believe that this is the only way to make money and cash out. Imagine a police officer standing on the road in a day. Sometimes they make 500,000. There might be robbery here. They will not go after those people robbing. They will be looking for one young man that have dada or have dread or have tattoo or is driving an exotic car. That is not the issue. A lot of them need to go for medical checkup, because a lot of them, I think they mentally, they are broken.
Right. Okay. Now, let me move over to activist Kelvin Ejimado. You are one of those, strong voices when it comes to human rights violation right here in Nigeria. Now, how has all of this actually affects, human rights in Nigeria? The police brutality, intimidation, harassment, and the likes. How has it affected human rights right here in the country?
Yes, it has affected a whole lot, because we've seen even where journalists have been harassed by the police. We've seen where even the lawyers also, some of them have been intimidated by the police as well. We've seen cases whereby they are being used as a tool by strong white politicians to opposition. So in all of this, they have been failing in their duty. If there are some good police officers you see, you begin to wonder why the others are not having this kind of ideology like this police officer. I've seen DPOs that will tell you that don't detain anybody in my cell without bringing them to me. Let me see them. Don't detain anybody in my cell. Let me interview the person myself. Because at some point they will hide somebody. They will hide somebody in the station. The DPO will not be aware. Some of their OCs, tactical commanders will not be aware. They'll just hit the person in the station, take money from the person behind. They have POS that they call to take money from the person behind, and they allow you to go. And thank God I've been able to recover most of these monies and hand it over to citizens. So in all of this, it has affected also investors coming to invest in Nigeria, because nobody wants to invest in a country where you be perceived as a fraudster when you are a legitimate business person. And in some cases, a trigger-happy police officer will just press his trigger and like the of a citizen. Nobody wants to invest in a hostile environment. People want to invest where their right to be respected, their privilege to be respected at all times. And the most alarming part is when the youth begin to clamor for this, The government, they give a deaf ear to some of these things. That is why I must commend our Delta State Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborowori, for creating the office of the SSA on the human rights to the governor. And I want other governors to also emulate this, to have an office of the human rights office in the government to separate excess of police brutality, EFC brutality, military brutality, and even child. But we must also understand that also, in talking about human rights, the police also, they also have fundamental human rights as well as police officers. We saw a case whereby a police officer was stopping a young man, and the man ran over the policeman and killed him with his vehicle. Now, he has violated the right of that police officer. You have killed a policeman on duty for telling you to pull over, and you ran over him and you hit the officer. Now, he's been detained in the cell. He called me and I told him, why didn't you stop when the officer pulled you over? The police have the fundamental right to stop and search anybody, even myself. If I'm driving at that, they tell me pull over, I'll pull over. Come down, come down. And when they see me, I say, call activities to you, please you can go. But you must obey them first. Not telling when they tell you to pull over, that's when you want to tell them that, officer, what did they worry you? Come up and drive my pass at bed. They stop me. No. We must respect also, they have fundamental rights as well, be police officers. They have human dignity and human person. That's what human rights entail. The human dignity and human person must be respected at all times.
Absolutely. Now, it's a whole lot of things to talk about. There's been cases of do you even know your rights as a Nigerian citizen? We'll talk about that shortly. And also, calls for reform has been on the front burner. We saw what happened in 2020 right here in Nigeria with the hashtag NSAS protest. Are we going to be seeing another major protest happen in the country because of all of this? Only time will tell. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll move over to all of this and more. Just stay. If you just joined in, you're still on to This Morning on ITV, and right here in our studio in Benin City, our major attention has been the human rights violation and, of course, police brutality in the country. I still have my guest, activist Calvin Ojemodo, and, of course, Mr. Jolov joining virtually from Delta State. Moving over to you, Mr. Jolov. What are some of those reforms that you think the government of the day needs to imbibe to checkmate the excesses of the security outfits in the country?
You know, during NSAS, when they were saying NSAS, and later I not progressed to 5/5 thereabout. And one of those things they were talking about was to increase the salary of a Nigerian police officer. And yes, it is high time their salary is being increased, not with little increment, but let's say with over 200 or 300% with whatever they are earning now, because they deserve more with what they are doing now. I believe with that, it will motivate them to do their job diligently. Then two, I believe the police itself should come out with body cameras. I said it some years back that it doesn't take anything. I think one body camera is less than $100 thereabout. If you are going on a patrol, you are supposed to put on the body camera. And I want to give kudos to activist Kelvin, because whatever he's doing now, it didn't start today. It has started long time before now. And he has put so much, he has released a lot of persons. And I believe one of the encounters he has had, or most encounters he has gotten, it's your word against my word. Because the moment police officers see you try to record them, they will manhandle you. During the time we were handling the judicial panel of inquiry, most challenges we had then was the police will say this, the victim will say that, and there is no way to test who is right or who is wrong, you know. So if there is body camera on every police officer that goes on patrol, the moment that body camera turns off when you're on patrol, meaning you are doing something that is wrong. So if there's body camera, I believe it will reduce that case of brutality and a case of your word against my word. If FRSC, road safety, can be wearing body camera without gun, they don't carry gun, they put on body camera. Why is the police officer not putting on body camera? Some of them are trigger friendly and trigger happy. The moment you just say one thing, they will shoot you. And when they shoot you, they can even lie on your head that you are a criminal, you are in possession of maybe bullet or gun and all of that. I'm not saying that they've not encountered people carrying weapons and all of that. Don't misquote me though. But what I'm saying is that the moment there is body camera on these police officers on patrol, trust me, that case of brutality, it will reduce from 100% to maybe 30%. Some of them will still have their way of doing it. Some of them don't even care if there's body camera. We've seen cases of police when they are being recorded, they will tell you that record me, let you go try, nothing will happen.
Right. Now, let me quickly move back to activist Kelvin. So, there's been a lot of talks regarding human rights violation in the country, and we know that we have several fundamental human rights in Nigeria: right to life, right to freedom of expression. The list actually is endless. What are some of those basic rights you think an average Nigerian who gets to apply the Nigerian road every single time should be aware of in case of, having an encounter with police officers?
Thank you. I think the first one that every Nigerian youth must know is your right to privacy. Your right to privacy, you must always know it and stand on it. No Nigerian police has the right to go through your phone. No Nigerian police officer has the right to open your phone and ask you to demand that you open your phone. If they need to open your phone, they will go through the court, approach the court with a court order and a warrant of search. The magistrate or the judge will not give an order. So the police say, okay, there's an evidence within this phone that they feel will help their investigation activities. Then they will not say, okay, then with the court order being presented to you, you can open that phone for them to go through. But that they see you on the road and say, open your iPhone, it is fundamentally wrong. And as a youth, you must stand in it and say, take me before. See, most people should not be scared of going to the station. One thing I've seen about most of our youth, when they say go to the station, do not get, no. Tell them, oh God, take me for your DPO. I'm not going to open my phone for you. Let's go to your station. When you tell them that I want to meet their DPO, let the DPO tell you to the front that they should open your phone. So tomorrow you now know who to hold accountable. And always ask police officers, please, what is your destiny? Where are you attached to? Are you attached to the tactical command? Is it the division? Is it to the zone? Try to know where they are from. Some time ago, we told the commissioner of police at that time that every vehicle in this state must be numbered. That's why they now numbered all the SARS vehicles at that time. We have SARS 01 to 014 within Delta State. So the IGP must ensure.
Oh, great. Now, okay, so it seems technical glitch actually happened there. But moving back to you, Mr. Jollof, as we tend to leave the conversation here because it's an unending one and it's something that must really be tackled in the country moving forward, what are those solutions you are proposing to address police brutality and, of course, human rights violation in Nigeria?
Like what Kevin said, know your rights. But at the same time, knowing your rights, we all know Nigerian police. We all know them. Sometimes the moment you tell them take me to your station, they might even take you somewhere else. So a lot of persons are always scared. They might even kidnap you in the process of saying that take me to the station. And a lot of persons do not have that time to waste. And that time that we all are always rushing and we don't have that time. We should at some point we should have that time. That is one. Wherever they want to go to, if you want Kimi, but let's go to the appropriate channel and if your hands are clean, let's go to the appropriate channel and prove ourselves. That is one. And two, like I said, we need body camera, which is the police in question. They need a body camera when they are going on patrol. And me as a citizen, I don't complain anymore. I have my metal glasses now. The moment I see you, a police officer on the road, I just turn it on. Because I try to respect them because they are doing their job, but it has got to the point that I need to protect myself. It doesn't have to be your word against my word. Body camera, a lot of police officers need to go for medical checkup. A lot of them need, especially low-ranking officers, they need 300% increment from their salary, for their salary. Whatever they are earning now is not sustainable. They need a sustainable salary. A lot of them have 4 or 5 children. What will 100,000 do for a family man? A salary. It will definitely stop people. Let's see, get gone, you not get money. It will stop people. So their salary needs to be increased. A lot of them need to go for mental checkup, and body camera should be introduced into the Nigerian police force to end the case of police.
Absolutely.
It doesn't come out with them, we are just joking.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much. We need to leave the conversation here because of the time, but I really must thank you, Mr. Jalal, Senior Special Assistant to the Delta State Governor on New Media, and also activist Kelvin Ijemudo, SSA to the Delta State Governor on Human Rights. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, that's how we tend to leave the conversation here. It's hashtag end police brutality in Nigeria and hashtag know your rights.